What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Retail Shenanigans. This is episode 12. Very excited to be here. Got a longtime buddy of mine, Tom, on the other end. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you doing?
I am good. I had a hell of a week. Had some fun with the podcasts. The full-time, daytime job was a little stressful this week, but it's retail, so it is what it is.
Right.
So it's definitely good to be off this weekend and really have the time set aside to have fun and really talk to some friends and give people a chance to get a voice out there during all this madness and just to unwind a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, definitely.
100%. So, Tom, welcome to the show. How what you want to tell everybody about yourself a little bit? Interests, what what you've been doing, things of that nature.
Yeah, I'm Tom. Known Ray for a few years now. As far as interests go, I mean, I love playing music, like playing my video games. That's pretty much all I've been doing during this quarantine.
Hey,
There's not
Nate.
too much else to do.
Ain't no shame there. I know you had to have seen what I put up yesterday on my Facebook. Before every podcast, I throw some old school Beastie Boys on, and I get in the groove, and we get this shit a rolling.
Hell yeah, man.
Fucking right. Love. If I could pick, like, I know it's impossible because MCA died but of cancer. But if I
Right.
they're one group to this day I still wish I could go see.
Oh, for
I
sure. I definitely
love
would. I
Beastie
would
Boys
jump on that. I would
in a
jump on that opportunity.
in a heartbeat. But anyway, I think that'd be a great way to start the podcast off. So, Tom, we're going to go ahead and get started. So, the first
Sounds
question I
good.
have for you is how long have you worked in retail or like fast food? The industry. How long have you worked for it, like in the
Uh,
industry?
I guess if I had to total it up, it would probably be about 3 years altogether. I
Okay.
started out fast food wise. I started out at Jimmy John's, worked there for about a year.
Okay.
Went to Ruby Tuesday after that, and then fell into Walmart as a seasonal employee.
Oof.
I sold toys during the Christmas season, which definitely kept me busy.
Right.
And obviously I was just seasonal, so eventually I got let go there. Fast forward to now, I'm now working at Boscov's in the shipping and receiving area, and basically my job is like customer pickup, loading furniture and fire pits,
Wow.
patio sets, and what have you into people's cars. Occasionally helping out with doing the truck, unloading the
Hmm.
truck and whatnot. But yeah, I've been there for a little over 2 years. My 2 year mark was actually the 25th of April, which I felt accomplished, but I'm obviously not working right now,
Yeah.
so it kind of sucked.
No, that totally blows. But to be honest with you, I didn't think there were any Boscovs still in business. I thought they all went out.
Oh no, we're going strong. We actually do really well for ourselves, especially around the holiday season. They kind of implement internet sales, and there's a whole team for that.
Right.
And during that time, I mean, most of the stuff I'm loading is Christmas trees and the like, anything
Right.
from little 3 foot Christmas trees to 9 foot Christmas trees.
Okay, so so from your retail experience, you went from fast food to working in the toy aisle to selling trees. So you went from being Santa to selling the trees for Santa.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds about right.
Except Santa has a guitar and likes to be that douchebag in the room playing guitar.
Oh, goddamn right. Goddamn right.
Fantastic. So you're with working in Boscov's in pretty much the receiving. You said you've been you mentioned that they had a lot of online sales. Kind of they're starting to trend towards moving towards that.
Yeah,
That's very interesting because a lot of companies are moving towards that, and it's funny when you see companies like Amazon, where they own Whole Foods now and they have like certain test stores where like you go in and you scan your phone or you scan your Amazon ID or whatever, and anything you buy gets charged to your account. But Amazon's,
right.
conservatively, 85-90% all online sales. So a lot of companies are
Exactly.
really picking up on that, and that's I mean, it's good, but at the same time, it's crazy because if you look at like what I do for a living, like my industry, like absolute like convenience retail, yeah, we have
Yeah,
like our version of a Grubhub where we can do like you can do pickup, you can do delivery from 7-Eleven, which is kind of
yeah.
crazy if you think about it. But you know that kind of stuff always makes you afraid. Like, is your job just one day going to be obsolete and it's all just going to be computers?
Yeah, I mean that would definitely make sense, but I mean like that's kind of the times that we're in right now, and all these department stores and restaurants and stuff. They got to keep up with the times and do these online orders just for the convenience, because I mean the consumers love the convenience nowadays.
Hmm.
You can't get around that in every way. I mean, because I don't think a lot of people get their furniture delivered anymore. They kind of just come pick it
Pick it
up,
up, right? Yeah.
which makes sense. I mean, you kind of want to. I feel like I would want to see that stuff in person, how
Oh
it's
hell yeah.
wrapped. Make sure there's no damage, because if it gets to you and it's already damaged, that's kind of a whole headache to get back through and get it returned.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree with you because I'm the type of person that if I'm buying like something big like that, a piece of furniture or, an electronic or whatever, I'm super anal about my shit. Like if I want
Right.
something, I want to pick out my item. I want to know when I can bring my item home,
Yeah.
the whole nine yards.
Exactly.
So if I'm ordering a couch or a dining room table, and now not only am I not allowed to, now I'm having depending on someone else to bring it to me. Now I have to set aside time to be home for them to
Yeah.
come in, bring the item in, and if they get there and it's all fucked up or it's not the specific one you order, or you see a big old scratch or a rip on something, then you're like, no, you need to
Exactly.
bring me a different one. Then it's okay. Now I'm without a couch for another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Super
Exactly. And
frustrating.
like a lot of the delivery times when they deliver stuff to you like that,
Hmm.
the window of delivery is anywhere from like a couple hours to all day,
Yeah.
and especially if you're waiting around all day for a piece of furniture and
Mm.
it's fucked up, like, obviously I would be mad. Anyone would be.
Hell yeah. You have every right to be. I mean, it's just like, and I hate to say it because I have a lot of friends that work for them, but it's like Comcast. It's always
Yeah,
like, hey, we'll be there between the hours of 12 and 4, but in
right.
reality, we'll be there between 10 a.m. this day and 10 a.m. the next day.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
It's absolutely bonkers, but it is interesting to see that a lot of business are picking up on that model of including at least some version of online sales because they don't want to get left behind.
Yeah, and like from what I understand with my job, I most of the online sales are kind of like the smaller things. Even some of the small appliances that we sell, we'll ship those out.
Okay.
And like I said, I mean there is an option if you buy furniture like patio furniture or whatever, you can get that delivered. But
Right.
I personally would rather go pick it up and see the product.
Fucking
And
right.
because there's plenty of people that will ask us to take a recliner out of the box because they want to make sure they're getting the right thing, and I
Hmm.
totally understand that. That they have every right to ask that, and I'm definitely happy to accommodate that.
Well, it's just like if there's two models of like a great example, like let's say a recliner. I have
Yeah.
a brown couch in my house, or a
Mhm.
black leather couch, and the recliner
Right.
that I wanted to buy is black to go with it. But it gets they give me the box, I go home and I open up, and it's this light tan. That's not going to match my furniture. Then I got to schlep it all back in the car, take it all the way back. Ugh, nightmare. So I totally get
Yeah,
that.
exactly. I'd be pissed. I'd be real pissed if that
Man,
happened.
ooh. I was actually no. You actually were there when I moved into my apartment on North Hills. When
Yeah, that's
you
right.
guys came over to help put my TV stand together, and I
Yeah.
forget where I went. No, we were putting the bed together or something, and I came
Mhm.
out, and you guys were like, your TV stand's fucked, and I'm like, what do you mean? And they were, and you showed me, and there's like a gap this fucking big between the connectors, and I'm like, great. So then on
Yeah.
top of that, I called, and thankfully they allowed me to take it back out and get a new one. But I was afraid they were going to be like, well, that's the insurance claim issue, and you got to order a new one. I would have been pissed.
Oh, exactly. I would have ordered one from somewhere else. Like
Oh
if
yeah.
a company would do that to you, like there's no way I'm ordering from that company again.
Right, like literally just took it home, and it's like, okay, there's clearly a defect where there's a gap this fucking big. Like, come on, you got to do
Right.
something for me.
Yeah, that did suck. I felt so bad for you.
No, that's all right. That day, that whole day was just that whole weekend was stressful because we moved two people's
Yeah.
Like two, our whole lives separate. We moved in with each other into that apartment, which it was decent size when it was just her and I. But then, down the
Yeah.
road we had the baby, and then, onward had the other one. And then we were just like, yep, it's time to go
Yeah.
move to Texas.
Yeah. All right, we have two kids. Let's go south.
Oh yeah. So when you worked at, what was the fast food restaurant that you said you worked at first?
Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's. Okay, first off, first time I ordered from Jimmy John's, I had no idea what it was, and I
Yeah.
asked them if I could have my buns toasted, and they're like, "We don't do that here." And I was like, "Well, I feel like a jackass now."
Well, I mean, they do they are a little like selective with that. Like you don't have as many options as Subway. I mean, I like their subs, but
Yeah,
I do think they're a little overpriced for the lack of options they give
yeah.
you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I do like a good like cold sub. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just like I call it whatever, a cold cut sub. But the
Yeah.
first time you order, you're like, man, I'm spending $9 on this sub. I better have like it's going to be a pretty good sub. And then you get it, and it's like 3 pieces of meat, some cheese, and I'm like, well, at least I got jalapenos and lettuce on it to kind of fill me up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, there's like a little bit of flavor, but like the fact that they don't toast the bun and it's just kind of like, here's your bread, just here's your fucking sub, just take it and eat it, man.
And
Here,
they
thanks
are
for the $9.
right. They are super weird on their delivery requirements too. Like I lived in North Hills. There was one
Hmm.
literally around the corner and up the street from me, and we were like maybe not a mile, but it was like we were like 1 or 2 blocks short of their delivery, and like where
Yeah,
our like they would deliver into our complex, but not to where I lived. So it was like they would deliver to the bottom of the hill, but not to the top. I was like,
it really is weird.
yeah, like, are you serious? Like, so you want me to order it to this random person I don't know's address and just stand there and say, "Hey, this is my food"? Like, I'm not gonna fucking do that. That's weird.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Be standing outside someone's house, like, is there a serial killer out my house? Like, what am I about to be murdered?
Right, yeah, someone's just like looking out, like, what's the
Right?
dude doing out here? Just like, looks like he's waiting for something.
Over some fucking Jimmy John's.
And the car pulls up, like, oh, okay, I guess he's not that weird. Jimmy
Well,
John's just sucks.
okay, but then at the same time, if someone's standing outside your house, kind of looking around, looking sketch, and then a fucking Jimmy John's car pulls up and hands somebody a bag, you definitely are going to be like, maybe there was something else besides a sub in that bag.
Yeah, 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 that's true too. I mean, that's definitely true. I actually had a similar experience when I worked there.
Okay.
I was off work that day, and I was over at a friend's house that wasn't 5 minutes away from the Jimmy John's that I worked at,
Right.
and I wanted a sub, so I wanted to get it delivered, and they wouldn't deliver it to my friend's house.
Yeah,
They're like,
that's
"Oh, that's
ridiculous.
outside." I was like, "I'm 5 minutes away, dude. Like,
Right.
what do you mean?" But it's whatever. I mean, I guess there's a reason I don't work for them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get that they stick to their policies, which is a good thing, I guess. But
Yeah.
when it's something like I don't know, it could just be me being a fat person and complaining, but it,
Or it could just be that their policies don't make any fucking sense.
that is also true. That is also 100% possibility. So we'll go a little column A, little column B on that one.
Yeah, right.
All right. So then, how long did you work there? You said for what, like 6 months?
Yeah, it was like 6 months. I mean, I was part time, and that part time was even like really stretched thin. It was really only a couple hours a day, and they would kind of just like call me off if they didn't need me,
Jeez,
and
that
it was
sucks.
kind of like I wasn't really making a whole lot of money there.
Right.
Not that I really had to support myself at the time, but it was like I'm pretty much paying to get to and from work.
Yeah, but that's horseshit though too. Like, don't get me
Right.
wrong. I'm very grateful. My for about a month and a half in this quarantine, well, I guess a month or whatever, maybe a little longer. My wife, her job closed down, and first
Yeah.
it would be only managers, and then it's completely shut down. But they called
Right.
her like 2 days ago, and they're like, okay, we're gonna reopen because Texas is slowly reopening and blah blah blah.
That's good.
So yeah, I was happy, but at the same time, like I guess she kind of mistook what I was saying. I
Right.
My thought was, okay, but if they're only gonna run limited hours, if they give you shit hours, is it gonna be worth you going to work? Kind of like what you were just saying.
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, not that it's my business, but from what I understand up here, at least with the whole unemployment thing,
Yeah,
you can work part time as long as you're not making what you did
right.
like before this. Like you'll still get your unemployment benefits. I believe that's how it works. But I mean, I'm not even working right now.
Well, the state of Texas is so huge, and there was so many people that lost their jobs. My wife didn't even get unemployment. So
Oh
she,
wow.
yeah, so she was just a month and a half, no work, no unemployment, nothing. Which I'm not complaining. Thankfully I'm still working, and I make enough
Yeah.
money that I can support us. It was just nice to have her extra money for like the car payment or the insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
But and I can understand how when I said that to her, it kind of it could have been taken the wrong way when I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just like I'm happy. I want her to go back to work. Get her time out of the house because I know she's going stir crazy. I
Oh
just
yeah.
didn't want it to turn into a situation where are you just going there for 2 hours here, 2 hours there.
Right.
Thankfully, even with their limited hours, she got like 25 hours in a week, which is that's still good part
That's
time.
good.
That's at the end of the 2 weeks, she'll still
Yeah.
be
At the end
bringing
of the
home
day,
four,
I'm
$600. So I'll be happy with that.
right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just, I mean, if anything else too, it'll get her out of the house.
Yes.
She'll be making her own money.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and that's what everyone needs at this point.
Yeah, and I've always been super supportive of her, so that's why I kind of like you know what I mean. I felt bad saying it, and again, it wasn't that I was trying to
Yeah.
come off as a dick. I don't know. I'm overthinker, so I
I understand.
overanalyze everything.
There's just sometimes that you want to say something, you want to be supportive, but there's no
Right.
good way to say certain things.
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly. 100%. Like when your friend like it's different when it's your wife or if it's your best friend. Like if your best friend's
Yeah.
doing something stupid and he's blatantly doing something that is going to keep getting him hurt and be like, "Dumb fuck, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
it's
Like,
different. Like I'm not going
fucking
to
take a look at your situation in your life and just
exactly.
chill the fuck out. Like,
Right. It's not like you're going to tell your wife, "Hey, dumb fuck, stop doing that."
yeah.
I,
I mean, I would not tell my girlfriend
no, no, no,
that.
no. I like sleeping in my bed. I don't want to be on the
yeah. Right.
couch.
Yeah. Right. Like, I don't want to get kicked out.
Nope.
She's looking at me right now, like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Nope. And I'm sure when my wife listens to this, she's gonna, she'll get a laugh out of it. But of course, listening to the whole thing, it's of course that's not what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? We're just having a good
Yeah.
laugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Right.
and, and it's always interesting because you do have to sometimes take that approach where you wanna you just you want to be a supportive, but you also want to make sure you have your wits about it. Because again,
Yeah. Exactly.
and gratefully again, she works 10 minutes up from where we live, so at the end of the day, it's not killing us too much on gas. And thank God I live in Texas, where I'm paying $1.25 right now for gas. So suck
Hell
it,
yeah, that's
suck.
so much better than what we're paying.
Is it still almost $2 up there?
It's like the lowest I've seen it so far is like $1.98. I mean, I can't
Whew.
complain about that, but
Right.
$1.25, my God, like I
Oh, it's
wish, damn,
beautiful.
I need to move to Texas.
Dude, I filled up my tank today for $21, and I have
oh,
I have a minivan. So granted, it's only like 18, 19 gallons, but still, I paid $1.25 a gallon, and it was like
right, that's
21
not
and some
bad.
change. Fuck no. And the crazy part is at this point, I got transferred to another district, so I work an hour away from where I live. So it's an hour
Okay,
there, an hour back. So back when the gas was still, and I'm gonna, you're gonna laugh at me saying this, but even back when gas was still like $1.90 at its highest down here, it was still shut up. It was still like I was filling up twice a week, and it was costing me like 40 some bucks, and I'm like, man, this is fucking sucks. But
oh yeah, no, I
thankfully
got
it's
you.
thankfully the gas has gotten cheaper, and next year when my lease is up, we're going to be moving up to closer to where I work, because this getting up at 4 a.m. to be at work at 6 is it sucks giant donkey
Yeah,
dick.
right, exactly. And then you got two kids, and they
Right.
they might keep you up if if you got to wake up at 4 a.m. Like, ugh,
Well, and then I got to be quiet. So like the thing is we try to we have our kids on a good regimen, and we might not always be strict on them when it comes to like certain snacks, or we're not just giving them sugar all day, or like we make sure they're not doing something detrimental. But if they want to
right,
have like a snack here or there, that's totally fine. But like
yeah,
sleep, like dinner, sleep, bath schedule, everything is on put. Like it's like I told you in
yeah,
the when I texted you, thinking that my wife was going to be home, but then it changed that she was at work.
yeah,
Which, full granted, my wife makes dinner. I'll put the kids to bed. It's all about teamwork. But ever since I've been doing the podcast, she's been really helping me. Picking up that little bit of slack there, even though I'm still doing my part. But it was like today,
yeah,
she's back at work, so it was like 5:30 dinner, and then 6:30 bath, bed. So
Right.
definitely good to have that schedule, and it helps. I don't know how we got on that whole subject there, so I do apologize, but
Oh, it's all
um,
good. I'm
but
really
yeah.
good at shooting the shit, so it's all
No,
good.
that shit. That's what the whole point of this is. Talk about retail and shoot the shit. But
Hell yeah.
it's seriously like it does. It does get kind of crazy because then and again we're back on it. But it was like it was funny the other day. It was we had just got done watching an episode of something, and it had just turned 8:15, and I'm like, well, it's time to go to bed. My wife looked at me and she's like, you're fucking old, and I'm like, I know.
But you have to wake up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Which, granted, there are days I'll push it, and again, I'm going to sound like such an old person. I'll push it and stay up till like 8:45, 9 o'clock. But then the next
Right.
morning, the next day at like 9 a.m., when I've already been at work for 4 or 5 hours, I'm like, ugh.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
I definitely feel like an old person sometimes. But anyway,
Understandable.
moving on through this. This is Thank you, Tom. This has been a hell of a lot of fun. I appreciate it. So
Well,
you
hey
had
man, I appreciate it too. I appreciate you having me on. I'm having a good time.
good, good, good. And again, like I said, this is the whole point of it. I get people on, we shoot the shit, we have some stories, and we laugh and have a good time. Oh, what are you drinking, by the way? I forgot to ask you.
Uh, Jim Beam and Budweiser.
Ooh, ooh, together?
Yeah,
That
this this has been my quarantine routine. Yeah, not mixed. I guess I should
yeah.
clarify that.
Okay.
A shot of Jim Beam, Budweiser as the chaser.
All right. All right.
Not mixing them together.
Okay. You had me concerned there for a little bit. I'm actually working on cutting out soda completely out of my diet. So usually I'll drink if I, it's either Fireball and rum or Captain and Coke or a Jack and Coke. But right now
Oh
I
yeah.
just had a straight up whiskey neat. So that was my
Nice.
drink
All
for the night.
right.
Yeah, I like my
Doing it
Jack.
right.
Yeah,
Hell
there's just
yeah.
it's a funny story about that. And again, real quick, I just want to tell this before I go back, before we move on to
All
the next
good.
part. But in February, I went out to the 7-Eleven Experience, which is this big conference we have every year in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they paid for every fucking thing. They paid for my flight. They paid for my hotel room. They paid for my food. There was, well, most of the nights. The whole week I was out there, I spent $100 because I gambled a little
That's
bit and I
insane.
bought myself dinner 2 nights in a row. Granted, I got reimbursed for those two dinners, but the gambling and anything else that I spent,
Well,
um,
yeah.
but the one night, I actually it was so awkward for me. It was the zone dinner, which so pretty much it was. So I'm a store manager. Above me is
Yeah.
a district manager, and then above a district manager is your regional manager. So the regional manager, I went out to dinner and drinks with my boss, and then
Hmm.
all of the other district managers in our district. So there was about there was 8 of us in total. So it was me. I was the only store manager. There were 5 district managers, 2 reps, yeah, 2 reps, and then the regional manager. And we were all out in Vegas drinking and having fun. I swear to God, I've got this video of my phone of my boss. They rented us a party bus. He was hanging
Oh
onto a
man.
fucking stripper pole while we were going to dinner with one arm and a drink in the other. it was
Jesus.
it was fucking hilarious. I had
That's
such
awesome.
such a blast. But the whole point of that is after we go to this Skyview Diner, which is like this 4-star restaurant, and we're
Right.
sitting there and we're having this 4-course meal that was fucking phenomenal. I had some filet mignon and some lobster bisque, and after
Mhm.
dinner they were like, "Oh, you have a prepaid tab of $1,000 up at the Skyview bar." So I'm like,
Holy shit.
"What the fuck?" So of
That's
course
insane.
I know. So all of us, and of course, no one wants to get shit faced, and then do something to get fired because everyone like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a company event.
Right,
So I
right.
figured I'd have one last drink for the night. I'd already had a couple beers and some rum and cokes or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I want to
Yeah.
finish the night off right. I was like, just give me a Jack and Coke, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have Coke. Is Pepsi okay?" I said, "Just give it to me neat."
I
Can't put
wouldn't
Pepsi.
doubt
Can't
that.
put Pepsi in with that Jack Daniels. Not at all.
Yeah, I know. I feel like that'd be disgusting.
Ugh, I've had it
I'm
once.
I'm really
Ooh,
not a big soda person in general, so like I mean I'll drink a Jack and Coke here and
hmm
there, but honestly rather just have it neat or take a shot or something.
right. Well, and that's the crazy thing. Like that's my thing. Is my biggest for like my regimen with me losing weight here. My biggest thing is I'm not a chocolate person. I'm not a sweets or a candy person. My vice
Right.
is potato chips and soda, 100%.
Okay.
And it's just something I've always fought with, and I'm to the point now where it sucks though, because again I work convenience store, so I get free soda and Slurpees all I want all day. And you know how hard it is
Exactly.
to just drink water when you have a fucking 12 head soda fountain there with anything I could want.
Oh yeah, I can imagine for sure. I mean, dude, like to be honest with you, like if I'm not drinking like alcohol, I'm
Hmm.
drinking water. I've never been a soda person. I don't know why. I feel like I'm kind of lucky in that aspect,
Right.
but hey, what are you gonna do?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's hard for me, and it's 100% not afraid to admit it. But I'm getting there. I drink, especially now that it's not so crazy and people aren't hoarding them so much. But
Yeah,
anytime I go grocery shopping every 2 weeks, when I either go to Sam's or Costco's, I get a big case of water, and
yeah,
with I wake, when I wake up in the morning, I will have some coffee when I get to work. But first thing I do when I wake up after I get in the shower, shit, shower, shave, the whole routine. Except anyone
yeah.
anyone who can see me on the podcast can see that I'm working on growing out my beard here, even though it's not going too well for me. You make fun of me all you want in the comments, but I'm
It'll
proud
get
of it.
there, Ray. It'll get there.
But
Perseverance.
I know it's my wife makes fun of me because I haven't really shaved since we got together, and it's just it's sad. I'm trying so hard, Tom. And she throws it at me all the time, but she knows it's because I'm biracial. So because I've got a lot
Yeah,
of sticks in the wood pile. I got a lot of
right.
whatever genes added up to me just didn't add up to facial hair a lot of. Now, granted, my hair, man, because I'm mixed, I get the Jufro 100%. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
I was
it's
gonna say,
terrible.
man, you
It's
got that
terrible.
funky fresh fro going.
Oh, let me tell you, my 11th grade year, my whole 11th grade high school year, plus all of summer, I went without a haircut. I got back from camp that year and went to the barber shop downtown. My mom, she was like, "Fuck it, we're going to the barber shop," because she didn't want to deal with it. Went down there. The dude cutting my hair had to break the broom and dustpan out 4 fucking times before we were done.
Jesus Christ. Oh my
Cause
God.
I'm not bullshitting you. You see how big my hair gets.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen you. I've seen you with your fro going.
Oh my god, it's bad.
You need like a pick in there.
Oh my god, yes. Just one of the picks with the fist on top of it. Just stick it right in the center.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, that'd be fucking dope.
Love it. I'm gonna get one just for you, Tom. Next time I see one,
Oh,
I'm gonna buy it, stick it in my hair, and take a picture of it just for you.
I'm so honored that you would even do that for me.
100%. But
Hell
anyway,
yeah.
fully steam ahead. Moving on here. So since we're on
Okay.
the subject of happiness and we're laughing and having a great time, if you had to
Yeah.
pick your best memory of working in either, your entire retail career, what would you say your absolute best memory is? Like,
My
doesn't have to
absolute
be
best memory.
doesn't have to be something crazy huge, whether it was just somebody coming back thanking you for what they did, for what you did, or someone like something small, or if it is something extravagant and huge, cool. But if it's your best memory of something that happened with you in retail that every day helps you just finish your clock out, you know what I'm saying, like gets you through the
Right.
day.
There was a time I had loaded I want to say like an umbrella or something, or maybe a couple umbrellas, which really that's like not a big deal.
Right.
And occasionally, like if we load something and if someone wants to tip us, like we can take it.
Okay.
I do occasionally, but some woman was ready to give me like $20 for like loading up two umbrellas, and I definitely declined that because I was like I don't deserve $20 for two umbrellas. Like that's not a
Right.
thing. But I mean, it's like the thought that counts. Like someone was really ready to do that for me. It just kind of made me feel good. Like
That they were going to give
I,
you
I got a lot of good.
$20.
Yeah, just for like loading up two little umbrellas.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I mean, obviously she saw that you were working and that she really appreciated what you did. Obviously,
Right.
I don't know if there was, something physically wrong with the lady or whatever. If you were just like, "Oh, let me help you." For some people, that's enough, man.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. You know, I understand that you said you didn't take it because you know you felt you, and maybe I'm wrong, but like you were like internally like, I really don't deserve a $20 just for doing that. I'm not going to take that. But
Yeah.
it's definitely awesome that you were at least appreciated from that one person because I know there's a lot of people out there that go throughout their day and they just every day, day in, day out, and all they're doing is getting shit on by people, and it's
Oh
good
yeah.
to hear the positive every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, like, I definitely have had some times where there's been like an irate customer, and I try to deal with it the best that they can. But it is those ones that, even if someone just like is genuinely like thanking you, I mean that shit makes my day, and it helps me get through the workday. It helps me get through the week. It's like I really honestly do love working at Boss Cos because like for the most part, everyone's real cool.
Hmm.
All the customers are really cool. Like I said, you get the occasional asshole, but that's
Yeah.
retail.
Well, speaking of the occasional asshole, that actually plays right into our next question. So we asked you the
Yeah.
best. What's your absolute worst memory? Something that made you want to walk out right then and there? Like top
Um,
tier, made you like the worst thing. Like and again, if it wasn't something very crazy, but it's just something that rubbed you the wrong way, whatever it is.
the only thing that really comes to mind was again at Boscov's, and it was around the uh, Christmas year, I believe. It was around that season, and
Okay.
we have a thing called like when you can order online and pick it up, and depending what it is, if it's something big, like you come back to receiving, like it tells you to come back to receiving customer pickup either way.
Right.
But if it's something small, we have to like redirect the person to the courtesy desk, which is kind of a long walk to the other side of the building, which, and I can understand how some people wouldn't want to do that. I can understand that's irritating.
Hmm.
It should probably say that somewhere, but whatever. But yeah, it was just one time someone really just like I guess they did not understand and they were kind of yelling at me about it, and I was like, listen, I don't make the rules. I
Hmm.
obviously kept my cool and everything, but it's like I don't make these rules. Like I can call them and like let them like ask them if it's back there, but I'm pretty sure it is
Right.
because it's not back here. So
Yeah.
I
That.
mean, it's just shit like that. It's nothing crazy, but
No, and like I said, it doesn't have to be anything absolutely bonkers or off the wall, but it definitely like it's something with the system of how they have it set up, and
right,
that's I think is what you're trying to say is what bothered you, not so much
yeah,
that the customer was upset. And maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me. Maybe it wasn't so much that the customer was upset, but there was nothing really that you could do about it because it was out of your control.
yeah. I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I actually do have a story to top that one.
Go ahead.
And I was very, very close to quitting. I had actually, well, I was thinking about quitting like really bad, but
Mm,
they convinced me to stay. But I got a call one night, and when I'm on at nights, like I'm usually by myself, except for Saturday nights, I got help then. But
mm,
it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and our our janitor department they leave at 7.
okay.
Okay, so I get a call back in my little office saying that there
You have
was
an
a mess
office?
downstairs. Yeah, yeah, we have like a little receiving office. It's nothing like crazy. It's just like a little room where we kind of, you know, like it's like our little headquarters, I guess you could say. And then we have the dock itself and
So do you have
little
like a
door.
desk that has your name on it though?
No, no, no. It's,
Oh,
it's
damn it.
nothing like that.
Okay, because I
It's
was
just it's like a desk with like a computer, and you can go into the computer to see like the trucks that are incoming, and like I mean it'd be pretty dope to have my own desk, but I don't have that luxury.
well, I was hoping you did because the next time I come up to visit, I wanted to find your desk in Boscov's and fart on it so you got pink eye.
Oh, I do plenty of farting there myself. Me and my one other coworker actually, and I'm sure he's going to be listening to this at some point.
Damn.
Actually, it's pretty much all of us. We're just sitting back in the dock, just
Just
farting each
ripping
other's
them
ears
off.
off. We're just trying to blow each other out of the dock some days.
Oh, you got to. Most definitely.
Especially when it's morning time. We've all had our coffee, and it's just
Ooh. And
we just let it go.
especially because coffee goes right through you, man, and all it is a stimulant.
Oh
Whoo!
yeah.
I
Oh my
felt so
God, yeah.
bad. I did that to my assistant the one day I went in. I was just dead tired, so like I went and got like the biggest cup of coffee I could, and I don't know how I did it, but it was like 30 seconds down the whole fucking thing, and then like
Oh,
hot,
jeez.
yeah, hot and all. But I put creamer and whatnot in, so it was cooled a little bit, but it was still a big extra large cup of coffee, and I downed it. And maybe 10 minutes later, there was no lead up to it. All there was grumble, brrrr.
Then 10 minutes after that, like, yo, I'll be back. I gotta take
Yep.
a shit. Like, I gotta go. I
One
gotta go.
100%. And I felt so bad because I know it had to have stunk.
It happens, man. It happens.
But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. But yes, I was up there, got a call. I was like, hanging clothes. It's like one of the things we got to do when we're kind of like not you. If we don't have any pickups or anything
Right.
better to do, we grab cardboard or hang some clothes, help out the other departments.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I get a call
Recovery,
saying
stuff
that
like
there
that.
was a mess. Yeah, yeah. I get this call saying there's a mess on the first floor, and I'm like, what kind of mess? It turns out, I guess, and this actually happens more than you think. I'm assuming it was some elderly person, basically had started to shit themselves, probably
Oh,
realized it, and left a trail of shit from the escalators in the downstairs section to the shoe door. And yeah, I had to clean that up, and I did the best that I could because I was realistically I only had like an hour left.
right.
There's a couple things I didn't get done that night, but it's not like I can just leave a bunch of shit on the floor. And I think the really like the thing that really got to me is that like I had no help. I had plenty of coworkers like watching me, but I didn't really
Yeah,
have any help.
that's a real dick thing. I mean, I that's happened to me several times when different places I worked where there was just a complete dumpster fire in the bathroom, and it was like, oh well, I'm gonna
Yeah,
come out and announce on the radio that the bathrooms need attending. Oh, but you're not gonna
yeah,
take the initiative then and go get started. No, you're just gonna make sure it's known.
there
But
you
and
go.
again, you can't. There could have been something wrong with that older person, so they could have just not. It could.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, yeah, like you can't blame like especially an elderly person. Like a
Right.
lot of elderly people, if they're that old, they don't have control of that stuff. But I tell you what, man, I do hope that some of those people listen to this because they know who they are and they know that I'm fucking mad at them for it.
No, 100%. I can't even begin to fathom. Like I said, I've dealt with it like in certain locations, like in bathrooms and things like that. But to just have it all just through the store and through the
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
oh
that's one thing. Like if it's in the bathroom, like it's not like I'll be excited to go clean it up, but like that's understandable. But when there's like a trail of shit,
yeah,
going through the store, it's like,
one
bro,
yeah.
what are you doing? Buy some fucking Depends or something,
Oh boy.
make the investment.
Oh Jesus Christ, that's terrible. Well, I'm sorry that you had to put up with that, and I'm glad that you were able to be, that you stuck through. Because again,
Yeah.
not for pun intended, but that was just a shitty situation.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, it really was. Oh, I had to hear that for so long. I bet you had a. Oh, I heard you had a real shitty night. Like, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah, I
God,
did.
what a fucking jackass. Oh my God, and then you're always gonna have those. And again, it's really it helps when you have people you can get along with and you can joke with and you can have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because and you might bitch, moan, and complain that oh, I'm tired of hearing it, but at the end of the day, that's really kind of putting a smile on your face sometimes. Like when I worked at
Oh
Gander,
yeah,
there were so many people there that just fucked with me all the time. Like I was in the hunting department and I was deflating some of the decoy turkeys. I don't know if you heard
yeah,
it. This was on another episode, and I was decompressing it against my body, trying to get all the air out of it. So of course, one of
right.
my fucking coworkers saw me clenching this fucking turkey up against my chest. So they decided to take a picture of it and send it through the entire chat chain through the whole store. And they're fucking making memes about me fucking this turkey and having the ugliest children imaginable, like a fucking turkey with my head on the fucking kids.
Oh my god, Jesus Christ.
So yeah, it pissed you off a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was just one of those things where it's like, yeah, okay, it made me laugh. It helped me get when you're
Yeah,
having
but
a
see,
really
like it's it's good to have coworkers like that because
Hmm.
like just people joking about it can help you just get over it. You
Oh
know
yeah.
what I mean?
And when you
Like
have
if you can't laugh at that shit, then what else can you do?
Oh, and you have to laugh at yourself. If you can't laugh at
Oh
yourself,
yeah.
then you're doing something wrong. I'm a firm believer in and again, a lot of people like discern like or kind of tell me I'm wrong for saying this, but I'm a firm believer in either everything is okay to make fun of or nothing is okay to make fun of. So
Right.
everything is equal to be made fun of, or then you can't say anything about anything
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like with me, like I was telling you with my facial hair, yeah, I can fucking grow some facial hair and it's gonna take me years, but I definitely got the fucking Jufro on top of my head that now next time I find a pick, I'm gonna go put it in there. But if I can't laugh at
Yeah.
myself, what am I doing? What am I taking myself so serious for that I can't, what I mean, that I can't laugh at myself?
Right, you got to have a sense of humor about yourself. I mean, if you can't make fun of yourself, you have no business making fun of anyone else.
Exactly. And again, it just comes back to that thing of it gets you through the fucking day. Um,
Exactly.
So that really answers a lot of the questions I had for you. I have really only so two more really. So with everything
Okay.
that's going on right now, are you pretty much out of work? Like, have they shut down as of right now, or
We're closed. I mean, like I'm getting the unemployment and whatnot right now, but
okay,
I have been told by my HR department that I will be recalled.
okay,
So I know I have a job to go back to when this is all over, which I'm very grateful for.
but as of right now, it's still closed.
Yeah.
Okay, so is
There have
there
been talks about opening up like some internet orders, but I'm not sure if my store is going to do that
okay?
because like the closest store to us is in Park City, and that's going to get a little bit more traffic than we would.
Is that one still open?
Oh yeah, oh
Wow.
yeah, dude. There's Boscov's open all through Pennsylvania. There's a few in New York. I think Maryland, Rhode Island. Yeah, the Rhode Island one was I think the newest one to open up. I think there's one in Ohio.
That's absolutely crazy. I remember going in anytime I would go to Park City, I would always, back when Allison and I still lived up there, and
Yeah,
I was just like, man, like I can't believe Boscov's is selling, they're selling electronics now,
yeah,
or not electronics. I'm sorry, appliances.
yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Small
it was
appliances.
yeah, and like you would go in there and you'd see some like fucking bonkers like TV or not TVs, I'm sorry, like refrigerators, washing machines, dryers, stuff like that, and I'm like, man, this is the shit I want for when I own my own house. So it was really nice
Yeah.
seeing that, but in the back of my mind I was like, are they doing this because they're on their last leg or what? But the fact that they're open and still in business, that's amazing, dude.
Well, I don't know about the other stores necessarily, but our store doesn't sell the refrigerators and washers and stuff. Like we sell, yeah, just small appliances. Me and my girlfriend, we bought like an air fryer convection oven thing there that was on sale for like $80, and
Dude, air
I
fryers
mean
are
that's
fucking
that's
awesome.
oh my god, dude, I love this thing. It's so nice, Black and Decker. It's so great.
I don't think mine's Black and Decker. I forget what the brand is, but I bought mine from Sam's Club, and it was like the XL version. So, because like I said, it's
Yeah,
me, my wife, and our two kids. So if we make like fries or like chicken nuggets, stuff like that, we will make sure we have enough for everybody. And let me tell you,
yeah,
man, that thing is a fucking game changer. Instead of not that I don't like baking
oh yeah,
things, but it's nice to be able to have that air fryer without actually having to fry things.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, like the one that I have, it's there's a I keep going on speaker phone for some reason. My bad.
That's all right.
Oh, I'm apparently requesting video. My bad. How do I end that? I don't know.
Um, well, I can't.
Don't mind me. I don't know how to work a phone, but yeah,
There we
the
go.
air fryer can. Okay, thanks. the the air fryer can bake, air fry, broil, or toast. So and
Dude,
there's
that's
like a
awesome.
temperature setting and everything. It's pretty nice.
Hell yeah, man, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I can at least I can say that I can buy stuff from my place of employment and actually be able to use it.
Hell yeah. Now here's the big question, and if you're not allowed to tell me, that's okay. But because you work there, do you get a discount?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's everywhere though. I mean,
Well, you'd be
it kind of
surprised.
depends. It's like 10, 15, 20%. It's all different things. I can't recall exactly,
Right.
but Yeah, as far as I know, I mean, like that's it's not like that's confidential information.
Well, I get that. I like to be careful because I don't want to get anybody in trouble with jobs that they're still working at. And I know some
Right.
places they do offer discounts, but they're not allowed to tell people. And then other places like they don't offer it, but but at the same time, if you do offer an employee discount, don't you think that'd be a perk that you want to tell people so you can get people to work for you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's one of the incentives of working there. Because I mean, like I don't buy a whole lot of stuff from Boscov's, but I mean, when I do, it's usually stuff that I need, and it is nice to have that little like extra kind of chip off of the price. So it's whatever. I mean, if anyone's listening to this, and come work at Boscov's, like it's a good company to work for.
Fucking right, man. And hey, shout out to Boscov's free
hmm
advertisement.
Hell yeah.
That's wow. I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you, Tom, for being on. I
Oh
appreciate it,
yeah,
buddy.
hey, no problem. I appreciate you asking me to be on.
So, pretty much last question for you to kind of wrap it up here. So,
hmm
obviously, you're not working right now, but
Yeah,
there are people out there like me, which I'm not putting myself into this situation, but there are people that are out there working still, nurses, EMTs, first responders,
yeah,
people who work at grocery stores, convenience stores, things like that, and
yeah,
their job has now went from somebody who stocked cans in the canned fruit aisle or the vegetable aisle. They went from that to now they're in this whole viral warfare environment, and
yeah,
there's the possibility that somebody coughed near them, and you don't know if they're coughing just because of allergies or if they had like dry throat or whatever, or if they've got the damn Rona. And now
yeah, pretty much.
you stocking those vegetables to pay for your bills to feed your family. Now you're sick. So
Yeah.
if there was one thing you could just kind of say to anybody listening who is doing that day to day, to people who are out there putting their lives on the line to provide for their family and to make sure people like you and me are able to go out and get our groceries, to get toilet paper, get these supplies that we do need. If you could
Right.
say anything to these people to help them make it through their day, make it through their shift, hell, even make it through the next hour, what would you say to them?
I would tell them just thank you for your service. Like you are helping everyone in this country, and I know that that includes all the dumbass, ignorant people that are still trying to go out in the stores with no mask on, thinking that they're immune or whatever.
Right.
I understand it. It can't be easy. I mean, what else would you be thinking if you're a cashier at like Walmart and someone comes up with a cart full of toilet paper? And people got to keep stocking that like as much as they can, and I'm sure people get shit for not having toilet paper even though it's out of their control. So my one thing would just be thanking everyone that's out there, for everyone from grocery store workers to EMTs, RNs, doctors, all of that. I mean, there's a reason why you're essential, and you're definitely not getting paid enough. I can say that too.
Amen.
There's
100.
something should be done about that.
I definitely feel like this will open a lot of people's eyes up that, the people that are, I'm not saying, I'm careful what I'm saying here, but there are some professions that people are doing right now where they do need to be
Right.
paid more. I'm not saying,
Right. Oh yeah.
I'm not saying that not every, I, never mind. There are people that do need to be making more money. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm pretty sure everyone working right now should be making more money, and I'm not working. I feel like I have full authority to say that. I'm getting the whole unemployment thing, and
Right.
like it's cool, but I mean, like I see people on Facebook saying that like it's not fair, and I do agree with them. It's not. I'm sitting comfy right now, but just because I'm sitting comfy doesn't mean that I'm thinking that you know these people don't deserve to be getting paid more, because they definitely do. If the government can afford to give as much money as they can to the unemployed, why can't they give some of that to the essential workers?
I agree. And, unfortunately, even though I have, some knowledge on some things, I would no way, shape, or form call myself an expert on almost anything. Yeah, I went to school
Yeah,
for business management, and there's certain things I do understand, but
right,
I'm still a fucking dumbass. And I wouldn't put myself in the realm of being an expert on anything like that. But I definitely
right,
agree that if we can afford to help out more people who need it, then we can definitely help out the people that are still employed. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, exactly. Because realistically, I mean, most people don't really need the whole extra $600 a week. Like, it's nice, but we really don't need that much. Like, that could be sliced, at least, 2/3 or whatever. You give a third to the essentials, or you give half of that to the essentials. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
just something like our government should be doing something to thank them, because like there's people that are still working and still struggling to, make their rent and everything like that. Then there's people that are unemployed right now and,
Making
they're sitting pretty.
right, making more than they did when they worked.
Yeah, yeah, and that's kind of my case right now, man. Like, and
Wow.
like it's cool, but like, I mean, like I kind of feel shitty about it to a degree too. You know what I mean?
Right. Shitty besides the fact that you're the douchebag who plays guitars at parties, but
I actually don't do that, to be honest with you.
I
And
just
the
had to throw
reason I
that
don't,
at you.
well, I just don't go to parties, so I avoid that completely.
I'm sorry, I had to get one more dig at you before we ended.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I understand.
No, I totally get it, buddy. Um, well, Tom, I really appreciate you coming on and you spending this time with me talking. I know we got off track there a little bit on a couple subjects, but let me tell you, I had a fantastic time, dude, and I really appreciate you coming on.
I had a really good time too, and I appreciate you asking me. Like, this was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah, man. And the whole point of it is just to get people on, get their experiences out there, let people
Right.
know that, they're not alone. Like everybody goes through some sort of issue that you've gone through. It might not be,
Yeah.
just because you're working right now currently as, a stalker or somebody who does like you're taking people out their furniture and shit, but the situation you might run into
Yeah.
might be conceptually different than something like I might run into, but the problem is the same basis. 100%.
Yeah. Exactly.
So it's definitely awesome to get different perspectives. It's like yesterday, I had two tattoo artists on my show, and that was fucking phenomenal. Getting like their point of
Hell
view on
yeah.
stuff like that, it was fucking awesome. And I can't wait for their tattoo shop to be back open so I can start telling all my friends in Pennsylvania to start going to them because they are fucking awesome. Um,
Yeah. I can't wait. Dude, I can't wait. Like, I want a new tattoo so bad.
Oh, well, then I will definitely put you in contact with the two women I had on yesterday. They are fantastic tattoo
Sounds good.
artists. Give a little shout out to Bridget out there if you're listening. But anyway, guys, that's we're gonna wrap that up for today, episode 12 of Retail Shenanigans. I can't believe we've made it this far. And again, everybody out there listening who has subscribed, I appreciate you. It's helping so much. And everyone out there who's still listening, who's on the fence, please just drop a subscribe. It really helps the channel out. And if you want to be on the show, please drop a line in the comments, or if you know somebody I've interviewed and you want to be on the show, I am 100% open to interviewing anybody. Bring you on the show. As you can hear, I don't censor shit. We can have fun. Fridays, I don't usually don't work Saturday, so if you're on a Friday and you want to have a drink with me on the podcast, cheers. So to everybody out there listening, this again has been Retail Shenanigans, and have a fantastic evening.